My son is a hero. He died doing what he loved. He would have had it no other way.
5 lives lost, countless lives touched forever.
I don't think I slept for the first 48 or 60 hours.
On July 16, 2015, a terrorist from our own backyard shook our community and gripped the attention of the entire nation when he opened fire on 2 military centers in Chattanooga.
Chattanooga responded in such an incredible way to this.
Today, we honor the fallen 5, the heroes who rushed in to help, and take a closer look at what we've learned and how we've changed 1 year later.
Thank you for watching this special edition of Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6. I'm David Carroll.
And I'm Cindy Sexton. As we look back over the past year, we remember how far we've come as a community, and we remember those lost that day.
Today was a reminder of what keeps us all connected, but first it's important to look back at what happened 1 year ago today. The chaos and shock of that day still vividly remembered, and Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Kelly McCarthy has more.
This past April, Mayor
it's a day that started like so many others. Chattanooga city leaders gathered for a press conference. There, Mayor Andy Burke learned a police officer was down.
We've got an officer down. We had somebody out there shooting at our Army Reserve Center.
Detectives left court to join an all-hands-on-deck response to Amnicola Highway. The police department closed the Riverwalk, and we got a look at the damage at the Lee Highway Recruiting Center. As ambulances transported Chattanooga police officer Dennis Pedigo and Marine Sergeant DeMonte Chile to Erlanger. 2 hours would pass before a second alert would confirm the active shooter situation was over. We learned the identity of the shooter as FBI surrounded his Hickson home. Chattanoogans gathered at churches to pray and blood banks to donate. President Obama weighed in.
The families are still in the process of being contacted. I want them to know that I speak for the American people in expressing our deepest condolences.
We would later learn the names of the 5 servicemen killed. Sergeant Carson Holmquist, Lance Corporal Squire Skip Wells, Navy Petty Officer 2nd Class Randall Smith, Gunnery Sergeant Thomas Sullivan, and Staff Sergeant David Wyatt. As the community rallied around their families, the slogan Chattanooga Strong emerged and set the tone for the way the city would respond.
That was Kelly McCarthy reporting, and today one of the main remembrance events was held at the exact time 1 year ago the attacks took place.
For more on this story, we head out to Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Herron. Michelle?
The families of those 5 fallen servicemen were joined by city leaders, law enforcement, and those from the community as their lives and sacrifice were remembered. We also learned about new plans in the works for a permanent site at the Amnicola Highway site. A bell for every life, and a pedal for every tear.
The heroes we mourn today again, they're no different.
It's how Chattanooga is remembering the heroism and lives lost on home soil 1 year ago. The mothers, wives, and children of those men sat together, surrounded by the community that's adopted them as their own.
It's inspiring to see them carrying on, to see their still true patriotism and love for our country and their feelings for Chattanooga.
Feelings shared by Chattanoogans as well, like Dennis Clark. In his Nooga Strong shirt, he came to Saturday's memorial honoring the sacrifice of our city's heroes.
They're fighting for our lives, man. They're volunteering. They didn't get forced to do their thing, you know.
It was important for those serving in the military as well. Catherine Mounts came here with her husband and 2 kids. Her husband serves in the Navy Reserves.
It's a strong community, and I feel it's important that we need to be there for each other in times of deployment or not, or whatever it could be.
Mayor Andy Burke says there are plans for a permanent memorial on the Riverwalk, not far from the Naval and Marine Reserve Center. It will be paid for through private dollars, like proceeds from Saturday's Heroes Run.
We want a permanent piece that is on the Riverwalk so that anytime somebody is going by that site, they can remember and have occasion to think about July 16th. We think it will be a worthy remembrance of our heroes.
A reminder that even a year later, Chattanooga hasn't forgotten and continues to heal. And events continue into this evening. You see folks already gathered. That next event is set to start here in just about 30 minutes. It's here at Ross's Landing called Patriotic Riverfront Nights. And that concert is free and it's open to the public. You just got to bring your umbrella, maybe a poncho. But lots of folks will be out here, and like I mentioned, it's free. We'll have a full wrap-up from this event coming up tonight at 11. But for now, reporting live at Ross's Landing, I'm Michelle Herron, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Hope you don't need that umbrella much longer. People of different religions came together for an interfaith service. Just one way the community is standing together as we remember. It was held at UTC Student Center this afternoon. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Cameron Taylor is live to talk about the message behind it. Cameron?
Well, David and Cindy, before we talk about that service, I want to show you the memorial here on Lee Highway. We've seen many people stopping by to pay their respects to the fallen five. Dozens of flowers have been placed here as well, including a rose for each of the fallen five. Now, I do want to share a quote with you about that service, if we want to bring it back to me over here. It says, "For love is stronger than fear," and that is a quote from the Chattanooga Strong Together program. That was a big part of what they talked about today, how this community has stood together and remained intact even after a year has gone by.
That there are two sides to choose.
Stronger together. That's the message behind this interfaith service at UTC Student Center. Although they have different religious beliefs, dozens sat next to each other as one to remember the fallen five.
Maybe we could provide some support today just to the families and anybody else who was involved.
People in the Chattanooga community like Jim Wilson continue to heal from last year's terrorist attack at 2 military facilities. Religious and community leaders led the service and emphasized how Chattanooga continues to remain strong.
An opportunity, and has taken that opportunity to show the world how people can come together to overcome even extremist murderous acts like the one that happened here.
More than anything, some say there's a bigger need to remain united.
I think it's about respect for everyone and to go by the example that the five heroes have set for us.
Now, one of the speakers at the service put it simply that after a year, this is a testimony that love will conquer evil, a powerful message as we honor those five servicemen. I'm live on the Lee Highway. Cameron Taylor, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Cameron. One of the most visual reminders of those we lost is a mural on Macaulay Avenue.
Artist Kevin Bate spent more than 250 hours making sure the tribute to the five servicemen was just right. For more on this, we head over to Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Kelly McCarthy. She's there on Macaulay Avenue. Kelly?
Cindy, I've done several stories with Kevin Bate over the past year, many times doing an update as each one of the face has been completed on this mural. And each time we do one of these stories, the community's response is overwhelmingly positive. And now tonight's event is the official unveiling of the mural called For the Fallen. This mural was created entirely on donations and volunteers. The wall space was donated, all of the paint and supplies were donated, and Kevin Bate did all of the work voluntarily. Bate hopes the widows, parents, and children of the fallen five know there's always a place for them in Chattanooga, and their families' sacrifices will always be remembered.
The whole reason I started this was for Carson Holmquist's son, Wyatt. I'd seen a picture of him holding up that sign that said, we've waited 244 days for this. That one sign just destroyed me. It was so sad for me. I've got a son about Wyatt Holmquist's age.
The ceremony tonight starts at sundown. That's when they will light up this mural for the first time since it was finished. And I'm told a lot of these nearby businesses will be offering up their parking spaces for free, so everyone is welcome and encouraged to attend. I'll be at the ceremony tonight, and I'll have a full story on this tonight at 11. I'm Kelly McCarthy, live in Chattanooga, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Kelly. And as always, thank you, Kevin Bate, for your beautiful work. We'll have a check of the weather with Nick Austin coming up. Some severe storms moved through the area earlier today, leaving some damage behind.
And as we head into the break, we pay our respects to the Marines and sailor lost 1 year ago today. The attack on Chattanooga soil is forever etched in our history. This is the National Cemetery where Marine Staff Sergeant David Wyatt and Navy Petty Officer 2nd Class Randall Smith are buried. Stay with us.
Welcome back. We have cloudy skies, still some light rain hanging on here across the city, but it's not going to last all evening. I think it'll fade out in a while. We could see another shower later today, but we do have some pictures from viewers here. This is from Craig Hunt up on Hickson Pike. Not sure exactly where, but there was some definitely really heavy rain with that storm earlier this afternoon over Hickson, Harrison, near Ooltewah as well, and in Red Bank. And so that parking lot got flooded, wherever that little parking lot was. So hopefully the water has receded a little bit there. And this is from Denise Hayashi up in Hickson on School Drive. If you look here through her windshield where she took this picture, there's a tree down across part of the street there. And we've had reports of trees down in some other spots as well. Not widespread damage, but the main storm that became severe was up to the north of downtown, from Red Bank all the way up through Hickson as well in eastern parts of Hamilton County. That was between 1:30 and 2 o'clock today. We had heavy storms in other spots too, dumping a lot of heavy rain, but a lot of it is fading out. We still have light to moderate rain across the city, some heavy rain entering Chattanooga County out of Fort Payne right now. There might be some fog down at Fort Payne too. And if we look at the big picture, we have some more scattered storms across northern Mississippi and Alabama and a few spots in middle Tennessee. So we're not out of the woods completely. We have a frontal boundary just to our south and a little wave of energy in the mid-atmosphere that's producing these showers and storms. So while this current rain might fade out in a while, we can't rule out another showers sometime later on this evening. After midnight, I think everything is gone, and we'll just see some clouds and a few spots of fog. Tomorrow, less of a chance for rain, but we could see some isolated thunder showers popping up for your Sunday afternoon, but probably over 30% or less of the viewing area, and probably the same heading into Monday. So as far as the weekend goes, today was the better chance for getting rain, and we needed it wherever we could get it today. 79 right now in the city, 81 Cleveland, 84 up in Pikeville, while Murphy is at 76. Winds are calm out at Level Field, where the low was 71 and the high was 92 this afternoon. But that storm passed by and they only got a trace of rain at the airport. So officially for Chattanooga, the rain deficit is at 9.8. That's a lot. We are way behind on rainfall, and we're still in an extreme drought from the city southward to Rome, Georgia, and across northeast Alabama, too. The rest of us in a severe drought. Now, this rain today helped a little bit, but it's not going to put a big dent in the drought. 3/10 for Trenton, just 4/10 for Blue Ridge today, 9/10 up on Signal Mountain. Sioux, our skywatcher in Red Bank, had 1.2, but we've had other reports in parts of Red Bank as much as 1.5 inches of rainfall. 1.1 for Dave out in Turtletown. Murphy Airport had 1.2, so there were some big thunder showers out there today. And we could see another shower again later this evening, and then overnight, just some patchy fog, a few clouds, 72 and muggy. 93 tomorrow. It'll be a hot Sunday out there, and we could see an isolated storm pass by, but it's a pretty low chance. And then if it does pop up, it'll fade out tomorrow evening with a low of 72. Your Storm Alert 7-day forecast, Monday's rain chances, not much higher, about 30%. A little bit higher for Tuesday, but the big story for next week is temperatures are getting a lot hotter, my friends. We're talking about middle and maybe even upper 90s a couple of days next week, with maybe some very hit and miss thunder showers. Not looking for a lot of rain next week, even though we need it.
Yeah, we do.
But it's definitely going to get hotter, and it's still going to be really muggy. So have to be careful outside during the upcoming week, because it's going to be kind of brutal out there with the heat and humidity.
Almost seems like we're heading towards some kind of record-breaking summer. I don't know.
It could be in terms of number of days in the 90s. It could be.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have to go get a count on that.
Check that out for us. Thank you,
The kind of record you don't want to break, right?
No, you don't.
Thank you, Nick.
Well, lightning brought down a tree and probably caused a house fire in Hickson. Take a look at the scene on Wimpton Lane this afternoon. Heavy rain, hail, and winds rolled through. Dallas Bay volunteer firefighters arrived to find a tree split in two and the home on fire. The crews believe lightning struck the tree and then traveled into the wiring of the home, blowing out a few sockets and catching a bed on fire. A neighbor heard it happen and called 911.
We heard this big boom, it sounded like an explosion, and we looked outside of our window, and sure enough, we saw a tree land on our neighbor's roof.
It happens a lot. Lightning strikes are notorious for running through the house electrical systems and starting fires in places all over the house, and that was the case here.
The homeowners were not there at the time. It's not clear how much damage the fire caused, but Dallas Bay called for mutual aid from the Red Bank Fire Department. We're glad the bad weather didn't move through this morning when more than 1,500 people ran or walked in the Chattanooga Heroes Run.
Quite a turnout. The event started at the Reserve Center on Amnicola Highway. In fact, it partially followed the route taken by Chattanooga EMS a year ago, ending just south of the Challenger Center at UTC. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Natalie Potts has more.
What I say, let a couple of you say, well.
1 year ago, our city lost 5 brave heroes.
You know, Chattanooga being our hometown and everything, we never thought anything would happen like that here. So, you know, it's the least I can do to come out and show these guys the respect that they deserve.
This July 16th is about remembering their sacrifice.
I think starting out at the Armory, it was very moving, and I became very tearful.
And saying thanks to Chattanooga's first responders, police, and military personnel.
Bump it, there we go, there we go.
The 5-mile walk run started at the Navy Operational Support Center on Amnicola Highway and partially followed the route taken by Chattanooga EMS last July 16th. Along the way were family members of the fallen 5, standing strong.
One of the themes that people were talking about down through there was these guys didn't make it to the end last year. We were going to do that for them.
More than 1,500 people crossed the finish line. Chattanooga's top cop and wounded Marine DeMonte Chile ran together.
He was, running in his full uniform and everything, so it was pretty cool to see that, him out there cheering people on and running with us.
Perhaps one of the most powerful moments came when Staff Sergeant David Wyatt's widow crossed the finish line, with wounded Chattanooga police officer Dennis Pedigo walking behind her in uniform.
So it was definitely emotional to see her choke back some tears the whole way through.
Together, they stand.
We love them and we're here for them, and their family members won't be forgotten.
In Chattanooga, Natalie Potts, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
And the money raised from today's run walk will go toward the planned permanent memorial on Amnicola Highway.
And our coverage of Chattanooga Strong 1 year later continues next on Eyewitness News at 6. Chattanooga's darkest day sparked change in many ways across the state. Now more people are trained in what to do if they're in an active shooter situation, and members of our military are better protected on Tennessee soil. Our state's top Homeland Security officials tell us the protocol worked fairly well a year ago. In the last year, the state has trained 35,000 people in public and private sectors on how to respond to an active shooter, but perhaps the biggest change can be seen at Tennessee's military installations, where military personnel can now carry weapons, a move spearheaded by Tennessee Governor Bill Haslam. More information on WRCBTV.com. If you visit the Lee Highway Memorial and the Chattanooga National Cemetery to pay your respects, you may notice coins left on memorials and headstones.
Now, this is a token of appreciation, and it's an old military tradition that dates back to the Roman Empire. The idea is for visitors to leave coins on memorials to pay respect to the fallen. But the significance and meaning of each coin is different. It's a tradition that allows family members to see that someone came to honor their Marine or soldier.
A quarter has special significance in that it means that the person who left it was present the day these people gave their lives.
A penny represents a visitor who did not know the deceased closely but wants to pay respect. A nickel represents someone who went through boot camp with or training with the fallen, and a dime shows they served in combat together. The families of those lost say the community's response has been a source of comfort and strength, and for some of them, songwriting is also providing some sense of healing.
We first reported on Operation Song back in May. It's a wonderful organization that pairs veterans and their families with proven Nashville songwriters, and it helps them heal.
No, it's not just a uniform, it's how you lived your life.
There were 5 songs performed last night at nightfall. Very emotional evening for the families and the crowd. And the night ended with Chattanooga Strong, closing the tribute with a positive message.
There's also a musical tribute this morning during the Chattanooga Unite event.
Mayor Andy Burke read the names of the fallen servicemen this morning, and a solitary bell rang for each of the service members. 10 churches across the city returned the solemn call. And we'll have more on Eyewitness News at 6 next.
We will leave you tonight with a look at how the community came together right after the attacks and throughout this year as we all leaned on each other for reminders of humanity's good in the face of evil.
We lost 5 service members a year ago, and through all the heartbreak and now hopefully the start of healing, we remain still Chattanooga strong.